Fala Geeks, tudo super? Pessoal, começando mais uma livezinha aqui de Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, né? Essa é a parte 3 que a gente vai tentar entrar nesse casamento, hein? A gente troquei de programa aqui, então eu preciso saber de vocês como é que tá aí a live, se tá mais fluida, se não tá, porque tá tenso, viu? Tá tenso. Aí vocês vão comentando aí qualquer coisa, o tiozão já derruba a live e depois a gente tenta de novo. Eu tô tentando acessar aqui o canal para ver se tá rolando a live normal. Ó, aqui pra mim já tava. Deixa eu ver aqui.
Well, fine. Just ignore me. What could I know? If you need anything, I'll be here.
E aí, né?
Hey,
então,
over here.
Vamos seguir aqui, vamos conversar com a menina aqui.
Do you have a moment?
O que você quer comigo?
What do you want from me?
I don't want anything from you. I should actually be thanking you.
Uh-huh. For what?
I've been begging for alms here for days, but I didn't make any real coin till today. And that's thanks to you. The scene you made brought out nearly all of Troskowitz.
Nem me
You
lembre.
don't have to thank me. I could have done without it. And that fracas in front of the tavern as well.
Oh well, not many people can make such a strong first impression. But look on the bright side.
Hmm?
Now things can only get better.
É, mais ou menos, mais ou menos, mais ou menos.
They just let me out of the pillory. Nobody wants anything to do with me. And I don't even know what hill that is over there.
Well, that there hill is Slatego. And you pull yourself together. Like Tomcat says, nothing's impossible. And bruises build character.
Do you know anything more about Tomcat?
They say he's a master swordsman, but a real joker too. He loves showing off to girls.
Do you think Tomcat might teach me a few of his tricks?
No offence, but compared to him, you're a bit of a lightweight.
I don't want to pull wagons, but if he can handle a weapon, I'd be happy to train a little with him.
Well, one of the guards tried to take him on and came back whipped like a dog, moaning like he'd been broken in two.
Well, sure. If he's that strong, I'm not surprised.
More like some trick he's got that our watch doesn't know. Or at least that's what the poor man said.
How does he show off for the girls?
With his muscles. He ricks logs with his hands. He even let himself be run over by a loaded hay wagon. Crazy. But to be fair to him, he sometimes helps people. Stanislav's sheep fell into a pit one time.
And Tomcat pulled it out?
And, not just that, he crawled down to get it. And when he found the poor thing had a broken leg, he carried it on his back all the way home.
Greetings to you too. Where might I run into Tomcat?
In the camp by the tower. That is, by Rock Tower Pond. He watches the camp for the nomads.
Should I watch out for them?
No, I don't think so. They mind their own business, but strangers usually mean trouble for them, so they're careful. Try not to stare too hard and hold your tongue, otherwise Tomcat will show you some of his other skills.
I'm practically naked. Nobody's going to want to even talk to me like this.
At least you're not walking around bare-assed, although that might not be a sorry sight.
Ah, very funny. I'd rather you tell me where I might get some clothes.
And what do you have in mind? Brocade and satin, a monk's robe, or perhaps Sir Brunswick's armour?
I'd prefer something a little more ordinary. I'd like to blend in with the locals and not attract attention.
That's a pretty good idea. Tailor Bartoszek would probably throw you out of the shop. But if you can get by with things that are, let's say, slightly worn, then I could help you.
Thanks. These'll come in handy.
Just don't get yourself caught again.
I have no money. I might as well beg on the village green like you.
The hell you will. This is my turf. Here you go. I'll skip supper. It's partly your doing anyway.
Wow. I mean, thank you. Seriously.
Yeah, don't start crying. You'd better find some work quick.
Damn. I could use a horse. It'll take years to get to Semin on foot.
Don't exaggerate. This province is small.
Still, it'll be faster with a horse.
There's a stud farm in Semin, renowned far and wide.
And which way is Semin?
Southwest from here, not too far. There's a road goes right there from the green. Just go down the hill. Once you see the walled farmhouse, you're there. Though I'll be a queen before you can afford a horse from Semin.
Do you know where I might find accommodation?
Betty in the tavern lets people sleep in the hay. But you have to pay.
I'm not going near that tavern. I'd catch hell again. Got any other ideas?
If you find some work, maybe you'll get a place to sleep too.
My main concern is getting to that wedding in Semin. Do you know anything about that celebration?
Well, yeah. People are talking of nothing else. The Lord's son is getting married to the sister of that lout you was fighting with.
How much time do you think I have? Have the preparations already begun?
From what I hear, the bride's dress still ain't finished, and blacksmith Radovan still ain't started smithing the gift for the groom. So, no rush.
Hopefully by then I'll find a way to sneak in. I really need something to wear.
I can see that. Save up for something or use those lockpicks. Either way, I can't help you anymore.
Oh well, it was nice to meet you, but I should probably get going. Get a job, and so on.
Don't worry, you'll manage. Till we meet again.
Greetings. by the state of his body.
So what? Somebody did him in and chucked him into the water.
But the river there has a powerful current. Dead man has been floating around the river for at least...
Excuse me, I'm looking for the man who was in the pillory with me yesterday. Have you seen him?
I can't help you with that. You'll have to find him yourself.
I'd like to buy something. Where can I find some merchants around here?
If it's a tradesman you're after, most of them live here in the village, of course. Your best bet is to ask our merchant Jörg. He knows everyone. I'm sure he'll help you.
What's new in the county, Master Bailiff?
I heard something's going on in Takoff again. Project the Innkeeper is probably coming up with some mischief to pull on the Gelievites. Will they never cut it out? Their bickering is making work for me. And now I've been visited by one of the local peasants. He said he found more fresh graves behind his field, just below the village, along the road to Nabokov.
What do you mean, more? You sound like this isn't the first time.
That we found someone buried here? Don't even ask. I've been digging up bodies ever since that bandit gang started running rampant. Most of them are von Burgo's men. Also, if it wasn't bad enough that gang of bandits is rampaging through the region, now someone's stealing cabbage from the peasants. What a disaster.
Cabbage?
Aye, and the peasants won't stop bugging me about it. I was just visited by a peasant from Jadar. He's been talking my ears off for God knows how long. Say, do I really have to do this? Do I have the time to look for some moron stealing cabbages? And that's about it?
That sounds interesting. Thank you. I'd like to report an ambush. Some scoundrels attacked my lord's retinue and killed our men.
That's a serious matter. Where is your lord?
Well, he left.
I don't understand why he's not lodging a complaint himself, and why not directly at the castle. He has that right as a lord.
It's a long story. My lord got very angry and then went missing.
Sorry, fella, but I'm not sure whether you're making it up or lying to me. But if you were telling the truth, why don't you bring your lord here and we can talk it all over calmly? I'm sorry, lad, but until then, I've got more important things to do.
Welcome. You can buy everything you need from me, but excuse the selection. A few days ago, when I was returning with new goods, the horse got spooked and my wagon tipped into the pond. I salvaged some things, but the rest is now in the pond.
Were there any valuables in there?
You bet. Lord Simeon ordered all sorts of delicacies and precious spices from me for the wedding feast. And for Taylor Bartashak, I was carrying expensive fabrics to make dresses for the occasion. If you only knew how much coin I spent on this.
And where did the wagon tip?
On the roads near the Kachak Pond, beyond Zhelyov. You can still find it there. I can't tell you how much it still pisses me off. But what can I do?
Sorry to hear that.
Me too. But what can I do? So, what will it be?
I wanted to ask you, what's on the other side of that nearest hill? I'm not from here, and I'd like to get my bearings. You look like a merchant to me, so you probably know best.
Ja, natürlich, you're not from here. Everyone around here knows that, after what happened in Betty's Tavern. Aber das ist deine Sache. That is your business, lad. Also, what do you want to know?
Can I find other merchants around here?
Zum Glück nicht, junger Mann. I'm the only merchant here around, Trusky. Oh, natürlich. There are plenty of tradesmen here who sell their goods. There is Bartosz, the tailor. He lives at the other end of the village. The apothecary, Emmerich, lives across from me. They are hand in glove, or more like hat in hat.
What do you mean by that?
Nichts weiter. Just that they play at being educated men. Along with the scribe Geibel, they are always studying some Latin tracts. But of the three, perhaps only Geibel knows Latin, if he really does at all.
Is there anyone else here?
Oh ja. Beyond the tailor's house on the edge of the village is where Bashka the butcher lives. Opposite the Rathaus is the carpenter. The rest of the villagers are just peasants, and you are already familiar with the tavern.
Bom, que meu microfone estava desligado. Agora que eu vi aqui que estava vermelhinho aqui em cima no botão dele. Onde fica a igreja?
Where can I find a church round here? I'm surprised you don't even have a small chapel in the village.
If you want. Die Rettung deiner Seele, junger Mann. You have to go through the forest to Aujetz and to St. Catherine. Herr von Berger does have a chapel in his castle, but it's not for commoners like you. We do not go there either. Und warum auch? The gravedigger Ignatius takes care of burials outside the village, and weddings usually take place without a local priest. No one wants to pay the church more than they have to. Das ist ja wohl klar.
Pra qual cidade você vai?
Where do you go for wares? What's the closest town?
The closest is Sobotka, the biggest Gichin, what you call Gichin. And farther north there is Turnov. Half of that one belongs to Herr von Bergo.
Is it far?
Das kommt darauf an. It takes all day on foot. Wenn du was brauchst, the goods I have here will have to do you. I do not think you will get to the town anytime soon.
Is there anything I should avoid around here?
Certainly. Stirring up trouble and sticking your nose into other people's business. Here in the village, we don't care much for outsiders. If any do come, they better behave.
I understand that, but we were ambushed by bandits. So I wanted to ask if you know anything about that.
Ach so, ich verstehe. The woods have been full of all manner of rebel recently. That is all because of the war. Verdammte Schurken.
So you've already heard about these bandits?
About those ones in particular, or about others. They are all just gleichen Scheißkerle. Every time I go to the town, the bailiff must send an armed escort with me. It makes life difficult.
So the roads aren't safe?
Ja, das kann man wohl sagen. Herr von Bergo should do something about it at last. But Herr Otto spends more time in Prague than here. And Chamberlain Ulrich... Ach, lassen wir das.
Não sei se é pra ser assim, essas legendas tudo cheio de
I'll have a look at the wares.
trem em outra língua. A tela de logística consiste em duas partes. Inventário, comerciante, você comprar um inventário de Henrys e tudo lá, blá. Fechar a transação e negociar o preço. Acho que é basicamente igual. Vamos lá nas armaduras. Mas eu quero na... Por trás, sair. Vender. Tem 3 tochas aqui, pode ficar com elas. Capuz. O que mais, hein?
Du wirst sicher zufrieden sein. Bis bald.
Gastar dinheiro agora não. Tem um escriba, né? Volta aqui. Nossa, longe pra dedéu. Vamos voltar no escriba. Tem que achar um cavalo. Explorar essa vila aqui inteirinha.
Good day to you.
E aí, Totó? Cavalinha lesão.
You shouldn't be bothering us here.
How can I help you this fine morning?
Eu não consegui
As
uma
the local
armadura.
scribe, you know a lot of things, right?
I'd say so. In this province, not a squirrel farts without my knowing.
Right. So, if I needed to get something, you'd certainly be able to tell me where, right?
Depends on what you're looking for. Don't involve me with anything dishonorable.
No, don't worry. I'm just looking for some armor.
Armor? Well, unless you want to join von Burgau's retinue, I don't think I can help you. But try Radovan, the blacksmith in Tachov. He might at least sell you an iron helmet.
You don't know of anything better?
Tá
Aha.
tudo sujo, tem que
So,
lavar.
the good man is a connoisseur, eh? And how would Prince Brunswick's armor suit you?
Whose armor?
Oh, it's just a local legend.
Armadura, não conto de fadas. Que lenda,
What
né?
legend?
It's hard to explain. There are actually 2 legends, or even 3. Well, it doesn't really matter. Why are you so interested anyway? Fine armor like that belongs in the hands of a knight.
Oh, come now. Surely you're not going to keep that legend to yourself. Do a fellow scholar a service.
Youngster, being able to piss your name in the snow doesn't make a scholar out of you.
I beg your pardon?
All right. No need to lose your temper. I'll tell you. In short, they say the armor of ancient Bohemian Prince Brunswick is hidden here, waiting for some valiant knight to find it. I don't believe it, of course. After all, I'm educated. But you'd be surprised how many fools have set off to find it.
De onde veio essa armadura?
Where did Brunswick's armor come from?
It is said that George the Lion of Württemberg brought it here. He was the nephew of Lord Chenyek of Württemberg, who built Trusky. This George spent a lot of time with King Wenceslas. A suspiciously long amount of time, if you know what I mean.
I think I get the picture.
And it is said that one day, a lion escaped from the king's menagerie, and George overpowered it with his bare hands and laid it at the king's feet, still alive. As a reward, Wenceslas gave young Württemberg the name Lion and the armor of his ancestor, Prince Brunswick. Only Sir George didn't live to enjoy it for long. He caught the plague at a tournament abroad. He died on his way back to his king, specifically while visiting his uncle here at Trusky. Of course, the king wanted his armor back, but Lord Chenyek didn't want to give it to him, claiming he had the hereditary right to it. It looked like Wenceslas would lay siege to Trusky, but fortunately Lord Chenyek was completely destitute by then, so he sold all of Trusky and the armor to the king.
Well, if the king was so endeared with Brunswick's armor, why did he leave it here?
Because he didn't have any choice, my friend. He never found the armor. Lord Chenyek was as cunning as a fox. While he did leave the armor here, he never told anyone where. It's said he hid it so it could only be found by a true knight, each piece in a different place. Or so they say round these parts. Who knows if there's any truth to the tale?
Who exactly was this Brunswick?
You don't know, lad? Educate yourself. Brunswick was a famous Czech prince who won the lion for our country's coat of arms.
Really? How is it that I've never heard of him?
Perhaps because he never existed. Prince Vladislav II got the lion for our coat of arms for helping Emperor Frederick I, known as Redbeard.
But you just said that...
Brunswick is just a legend, but a quite lovely one, I'll give you that.
Could you recount for me the legend of Brunswick?
Well, why not? Brunswick was a valiant Bohemian prince. He lived in a time when our country had an eagle on its coat of arms, but that wasn't good enough for him. So he decided to head out into the world and gain the mark of a more powerful animal.
A man after my own heart.
You may think so, but his wife was none too happy. Her name was Ludmilla, and she begged Brunswick 100 times to stay home, but he just couldn't be persuaded. Still, he loved her very much, so he took her ring and told her that unless someone came and showed her that ring during the next 7 years, she should wait for his return. But if he failed to return after 7 years, that would mean he would never return.
And what happened next?
Brunswick's party set out to sea, but didn't get far. They were drawn in by an island with a mysterious mountain of amber that holds all ships and prevents them from leaving. Over time, the men on the deserted island died of starvation, leaving only Brunswick, who noticed that once a year a great bird called No came to the island to hunt. And so the clever knight hid in his horse's hide at just the right time. And when the bird came, it mistook him for prey and carried him away. So Brunswick wandered on. After some time on the road, the prince came across something unprecedented. A duel between a lion and a 9-headed dragon. So, what do you think Brunswick did at that moment?
Well, considering what he later added to the coat of arms, I expect he helped the lion, eh?
Smart. Brunswick rushed to help the lion, and together they killed the dragon. And from that time on, they were stalwart companions. The lion even followed him all the way back to Bohemia. Except, by then, it was already too late. It had already been exactly 7 years to the day since Brunswick set off on his journey. His wife, Ludmilla, who had until that time valiantly resisted all suitors, was about to remarry. But at the wedding feast, Brunswick managed to drop the ring in her cup. So it all turned out well. For Brunswick, that is. Not so for Ludmilla's new groom, but the lion took care of that.
And do you know where I could find Brunswick's armor?
Yes, lad, if it even really exists. But I do have a little bit of advice for you. Sir Chenyek, who they say hid the armor, left behind a riddle. It's a test that must be passed by whoever wants to find it. Do you want to hear it?
Lógico, né?
Then how did that riddle go?
Wait, how was it? I've got it. Take your leave of crone and maiden, standing tall behind the gates. Boldly go towards true midnight. In caverns cold your prize awaits. Pass through the all of forest kings, hidden deep from hunter's gaze. Standing tall, 2 guards of stone. Behind whom yearn for treasure lays. Between them stands a mighty rock. A subtle niche, yet deeper still. A place to give one's art to God. Behold, my armor gleaming still.
Uh-huh. And that was supposed to help me, eh?
Answers come to the wise. kicks to the stupid.
The Crown and the Maiden towards midnight. We've got east, west, midday, midnight. Well, thanks a lot.
Hold on, I'll give you something else. Sir George, who previously owned the armor, wanted to have a nice poleaxe made in Prague too, but he died of the plague before he could do it. I'm not too certain about Brunswick and his armor, but this is certainly true, because I have a copy of George's order here. Here, take it, as a keepsake. And now, go.
Galera, quem não tá acostumado com Kingdom Come Deliverance, é isso. É conversar. Eu posso roubar. Como é que tá minha comida? Posso comer ali, ó. Sociedade, tá 88. Não vou comer mais isso, não. Precisava roubar um cavalo aqui, ó. O cara tá... Nossa, o cara tá de olho em mim. O cara tá de guarda.
Don't cause any trouble. Got it? This property belongs to someone else.
Não posso chegar ali perto. É o único lugar que tem cavalo? Saco, hein? Por que vou ficar ali? Posso apagar ele, posso não? Eu venho por aqui, ó. Uma maciota. Eu posso nocautear, só que o outro tem que estar pra lá, senão já era. Então ferrou o Brasil, eu tenho que ver o outro voltando pra fazer a ação. Aí eu nocauteo o outro e roubo o cavalo. Cadê o guarda? Não tá lá não. Tem outro ali? Tem não. Porcaria! Eu tinha que apertar alguma coisa. Agora ferrou.
You're done here, you crook! You don't fight with guards, you fool!
Agora ferrou.
If you keep resisting, I've all the right in the world to execute you on the spot!
Eu quero me render, eu quero render. Pra que eu fui mexer com isso, hein? Tentar de novo. Oh. Bicho burro. Ia ser muito fácil, né? Já ir de primeira. Nossa, eu perdi toda a minha linha de conversa, velho. Mentira. Perdi tudo. Lá, tô peladão. Bem feito, otário. Bem feito. Bem feito. Vai querer bancar o mauzão? Dá nisso. Dá nisso. Vou tentar me lavar aqui. Agora é tentar conversar, pular o diálogo tudo. Vou conversar com ele aqui. Vou relatar a emboscada.
I'd like to report an ambush.
That's a serious...
Well,
I don't understand.
It's a long...
Sorry, fella. If you were telling... I'm sorry.
I need to speak
With the...
Why not?
I'd like to.
And where do you think? But they won't let me
E
in.
a gente vai
I'm not
na
gonna put-
habilidade.
Excuse me,
Meu
I can't help.
amigo. Onde posso encontrar comerciantes
I'd like to buy-
If it's a
locais?
trap, your best bet.
Tá tudo certo.
What's new?
It's peaceful. Well, that.
E
And what happened?
What do you think? And then. But that.
I understand.
Cadê as novidades?
What's new in the...
I project the. And now I've been. He said he found more.
What do you mean?
That we found. I've been. Awesome. Now.
Cabbage?
I and the. Say, do I. And that's about it.
That sounds interesting.
Um diálogo. Vamos lá conversar agora com o escribinha. Meia hora de papo,
God
vamos
bless.
resumir. Conseguir uma armadura.
As the local scroll...
I'd say. Depends on
No.
armor, but try. Uh-huh.
Whose armor?
Oh,
Que linda.
there are actually. Why are you so interested in?
Eu acho que eu pareço um cavaleiro. Eu tenho mais de ou vender algum cavaleiro. Estou mais interessado nessa lenda. É 5. Estou interessado nisso como ferreiro. Eu como ferreiro.
That may be true. But even the finest armor has to pass through the hands of the master
Vai
blacksmith
passar.
who forged it. Well, I might be only an apprentice, but that's all the more reason I should take an interest in such things
Ele
and
era um
learn
ferreiro,
something.
quem sabe?
Aiming a bit high, starting with knightly armor, aren't you? How about starting with horseshoe nails, eh?
Excuse me?
All right.
Yeah,
no
you
need
know.
to. In short, I don't believe
Who exactly?
you.
Really?
Perhaps Prince of Vlad.
But you just...
Brunswick is
Could you recount?
well Brunswick, so he'd.
A man after...
You may her name still, but
Then what happened?
Brunswick over time, and so after so.
Well,
Smart Bruns, and from that, except his wife at the for Brunswick, that is. Not so for.
where did Brunswick...
It is said that George,
I think I get the picture.
and it is said that one day a lion escaped from the king's menagerie, and George overpowered it with his bare hands and laid it at the king's feet, still alive. As a reward, Wenceslas gave young. Only Sir George didn't live to enjoy it for long. Specifically, while visiting his uncle here at Trust. Of course, the king wanted his armor back, but Lord Chenyek didn't want to give it to him, claiming he had the hereditary right to it. It looked like Wenceslas would lay siege to Trotsky, but for
Chenyek was broke. How come?
because of building his castle. Trotsky may be impressive, but it's too expensive for a nobleman. Even the king.
Well, if the king was so endeared with Brunswick's armor, why did he leave it here?
Because he didn't have any choice, my friend. He never found the... Lord Chenyek was as cunning as a fox. It's said he hid it so it could only... Or so they say round these parts.
And do you know where I could find Brunswick?
Yes, lad. But I do have Sir Chenyek, who they say hid the armor, left behind a riddle. Do you want to hear it?
Conte a charada.
And how did that riddle go?
Wait, how was it? I've got it. Take your leave, pass through. Between them stands a...
The crone and the maiden towards midnight. We've got east, west, midday, midnight. Bloody hell. I think I know where it is.
Really? Well, seems you've got something between your ears then, lad. And you know what? I've got something else for you. Sir George, who previously owned the armor, wanted to have a nice poleaxe made in Prague too. But he died of the plague before he could... I'm not too certain about Brunswick and his armor, but this is certainly true, because I have a copy of George's order here. Here, take it, as a keepsake. And now, go.
Bom, beleza. Pegou a charada e encontra uma peça de armadura de Brunswick. Tá. Vamos lá conversar com o comerciante agora.
The celebration is over and done with. Everything's going well. I'm in fine fettle. It's almost
A mulherzinha tá pedindo, ó,
odd
me
how well
ajudou.
things are going. Can't we enjoy the peace and quiet?
What? Welcome. You can buy everything. A few days ago, when I was rich, I salvaged.
Tinha algo de valor ali. Onde está a sua carro? Onde é a sua carroça?
Where did the
Vamos
wagon
mudar.
tip?
On the roads near the catch-up pond. beyond Jelly-off. You can still find it there. I can't tell you how much it still pisses me off. But what can I do?
Tinha algo de valor ali, sinto muito por isso que passou para... Não,
Were there any valuables in there?
You bet. Lord Simeon ordered all sorts of delicacies and precious spices
então
from
posso
me for
ajudar
the wedding
se eu
feast.
achar a carroça.
And for Taylor Bartishak, I was carrying expensive fabrics to make dresses for the occasion. If you only knew how much coin I spent on this.
Sinto muito por isso.
Sorry to hear that.
Me too. But what can I do? So, what will it be?
Tem atrás daquela colina, negociar, que tem atrás da
I
colina.
wanted to ask you, what's on the other side of that? I'm not from here, and I'd like to get my bearings.
Ja, natürlich, you're not from here. Everyone around here knows that, after what happened in Betty's Tavern. Aber das ist deine Sache. That is your business, lad. Also, what do you want to know?
Onde fica a
Where can I find a
igreja?
church round here?
If you want. Die Rettung deiner Seele, junger Mann. You have to go through the forest to Aujetz and to St. Catherine. Herr von Berger does have a chapel in his castle, but it's not for commoners like you. We do not go there either. Und warum auch? The gravedigger Ignatius takes care of burials outside the village, and weddings usually take place without a local priest. No one wants to pay the church more than they have to. Das ist ja wohl klar.
Posso encontrar alguns outros
Can I
comerciantes.
find other merchants around here?
Zum Glück nicht, junger Mann. I'm the only merchant here around, Trusky. Oh, natürlich. There are plenty of tradesmen here whose... There is Bartosz, the apothecary Emmerich lives across...
What do you mean by that?
Nichts weiter. Along but of the three, perhaps only
Pulando
Guy
aqui,
will
galera,
understand
se
them.
vocês estiverem vendo
If he really
depois, que eu
doesn't
já
know.
conversei isso
Is there
aqui,
anyone
é
else
porque
here?
eu...
Oh, yeah. Beyond the
Ferrei
tailor's
meu
house on
game.
the edge of the village is where Bashka the butcher lives. Opposite rest of the villagers are just peasants. And you are already...
Qual cidade você vai?
Where do you go for...
The closest half of that one belongs to Herr von Bergo.
Is it far?
Das kommt darauf an. Wenn du was brauchst, the good... I do not think you...
Eu ter cuidado com alguma coisa.
Is there anything I should avoid around here?
Certainly. Stirring up here in the village, we don't care.
I understand that. But
E
we
foi
were
o que eu não
ambushed
fiz,
by
né?
bandits. So I wanted to ask if you know anything about that.
Ach so, ich verstehe. The woods have been full of all... That is all because of...
So you've already heard about these bandits?
About those ones. Every time I go to...
So the roads aren't safe?
Ja, das kann man wohl sagen. Herr von Bergo... But Herr Otto spends more time in Prague than here. And Chamberlain Ulrich... Ach, lassen wir das.
Não vou negociar nada, não. Pronto, já fiz o que eu tinha feito. Vamos tentar... fazer o que, hein? O scroll do meu mouse tá bichado também, tá vendo, né? Aqui são os dados, né? Escriba, balde de indulgência, rebolo, ninho, taverna. Aí eu tenho que visitar mais lugares pra conhecer, né? Pra liberar mais coisas. Que é um riacho? Sei. Papoula, isso é bom, hein? Vou pegar uma papoula aqui. Invasão azul. Invasão significa que você está em uma propriedade privada e seus habitantes farão sair. Se ficar, eles ficarão com raio e sua invasão se tornará um crime. Entendeu? Uma fazenda. Funcionário.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Funcionário. Criada.
Greetings to you two.
Funcionário.
You can't just stroll around here without so much as a buy your...
Não, só quero achar seu superior. Não tô. Não precisa ficar bravo não, garotinho. Tô de boa.
What the? Can I help you?
Não, tô vazando. Pode ficar de boa. Sem estresse. Ó, o guarda já vai ficar ver o que eu tô fazendo.
God bless.
Funcionário da palha. Guarda. Criada. Só uma casa normal. E aqui. Funcionário, nova entrada no códice. Carpinteiros e marceneiros. Aí tem um texto tamanho da semana que eu não vou conversar. Carpinteiro, vamos conversar com ele.
What do you want, you yokel? But make it quick.
Só negociar? Então tem um diálogo. Pensei que você ia me dar uma missão, alguma coisa. É a abelha.
There I saw some strange water monks who have fins instead of legs and fleshy cowls on their heads. If you want to hear more, give me a groschen or two. I won't even turn down the bill too.
God bless you.
Funcionário. É, galera, tá aí vivendo sua vidinha. Cada um na sua ocupação. E eu não consigo um cavalo. Arrumar é muito fácil. Nem sei se eu tenho lockpick. O cachorro ficou putaço porque eu cheguei ali. Açougueiro.
Praise the Lord.
Não falo com ele não. Pedra de molar. Você pode consertar suas armas perfurantes cortando o feno numa pedra de molar. Assim você evitará com ferramentas de serviço de reparo. Mova cuidadosamente além da espada. Pressione espaço para girar a pedra. Para mover uma arma na pedra e alterar o escuro. O meu escuro tá ferrado, né? Vamos ver. Enfiou? Ajuda, mover, girar, parar. É, vai ter jeito não, vou ter que escolher uma missão aqui e ir. Fui onde podia. Aqui a gente tem túmulos recentes. Aqui em cima. Entre na festa de casamento com a ajuda do ferreiro. Descobri o que aconteceu com o vira-lata. Vou ter que ficar para depois. Entre na festa com a ajuda do moleiro. Ferreiro ou moleiro, hein? Eu acho que eu vou no ferreiro, que eu era ferreiro. Vamos pro B então. Vou ter que ser andando, não vai ter jeito não. Vou roubar cavalo aqui não, que eu tô só me ferrando. Para ver se eu tenho certo, tô. Que é a probabilidade de achar um cavalo aqui. Uma eguinha, um pangaré. Eu não tentei comprar, né? Vai que eu conseguiria comprar vendendo as coisas que eu tinha. Ser burro lá longe. O jogo é bonito, hein? Você se deparou com um lugar onde há uma grande quantidade de caça. Ele será marcado no mapa como local de caça. Massa. Tô seguindo o trieiro. O castelo que eu tenho que entrar. Certo. É, tô. Posso passar por cima aqui. Passar pelo meio mesmo. Nossa, mata fechada, hein? Caraca, diferente do primeiro, hein? Pirei. Olha. Ele anda até devagar. Que louco. Chegando aqui na vila. É aqui? Aqui mesmo. Esse é por aqui. Vamos seguir a estrada. Você pode viajar para lugares já descobertos usando no mapa, né? Viagem rápida.
Greetings to you.
Funcionário, é você que eu quero não, garotinho. Quero o patrone. Que é outra cidade, né? Guarda.
I will tell you the amazing things I've seen and experienced.
Arauto.
In the south I saw a land without end, all covered in sand, hot and dry, with no fresh water. The people there call themselves the Blemius.
A lajadeira.
Look out!
Tá bebo, tá bebo. Oi, Zé da Pinga. Cara, tá bonito, tem a iluminação comparado ao outro. Conversar.
Are you going to do what we talked about?
Não, eu quero conversar logo com o cara lá. Ferreiro Radovan. Estou aqui por causa do serviço. Consertar, negociar, serviço.
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. Ah, what do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Yeah.
Sure thing.
Vamos lá.
I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge.
Vamos lá, vamos pegar o baú.
Go over to the anvil and let's get started.
Acho que é aqui, né? Aço, material, sucata. Entra na festa de casamento, ajuda o Ferreiro Radovan. Vamos lá. Começa a forjar a bigorna, pressione E. Na bigorna. Iniciar a forja. Vamos lá, espada de caça. Dano, tal. A espada de caça é fiel à companhia de todo caçador. Legal ou clandestino? Legal de gente boa. Ele é legal. Ser usado para acabar com a miséria do animal caça. Costuma ser usado para acabar com a miséria do animal caçado, mas também é útil para cortar gravetos para fogueira. Bacana.
Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up bit by bit. Try poking it around for a bit.
Você pode mover a peça para frente e para trás no forno para aquecer suas partes individualmente. Ah, tá, então vamos lá.
Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above you. Give it a pull. It works the bellows.
Segure para essa parquinha dentro do forno e aumentar a temperatura dele.
Be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out.
Para segurar.
See? That's exactly the straw color we want. You've got talent, lad. Now heat up the whole thing. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil.
Mover para a bigorna.
Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it.
Você pode mover a peça para frente e para trás, a bigorna usando o ponto de impacto.
Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. Sparks, that's the sign of a good strike. More sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side.
Isso não tinha no primeiro jogo, ser um ferreiro. Curti.
Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before.
É um job mesmo. Enrola, hein?
Thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Hear that? Besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes. Sparks! That's the stuff. Well struck. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking.
Que maneiro, fiz uma espada, cara. Feito com sucesso.
Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
Não. Para que serve o assobio,
What
né?
good does it do me to whistle while I work?
It makes you work to a rhythm. You won't get tired so quickly, and the iron feels it.
How do I know a good strike from a bad one?
By the sparks that fly up, and by the ring. It rings out with a different sound when you do it right.
What's the right way to heat up the workpiece?
Do it till it turns the color of straw. Ideally, the color should be the same everywhere. If your forging's going to be even, the main thing is, don't work it cold. You just ruin it. But don't overheat it either. As soon as sparks start to fly off it in the furnace, take it out.
Why should I forge evenly?
If you keep hammering the same spot, you'll never finish it. You'll just fuck it up. But jumping from one end to the other ain't a good idea neither. You'd end up working unevenly. The best thing to do is aim each strike next to the one before.
How will I know it's finished?
Notice the shape. The closer you are to finishing, the more precise the shape it will have.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
Onde posso arranjar materiais?
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me. But if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury. They can't afford it neither.
What can I do with the items I've forged?
Well, you can sell them, though you probably won't have much luck around here. But I'll happily buy some of the nicer things from you.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house. There are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between them. You go in by the rear door, next to the woodshed, and you can put your things in the chest there. Don't worry, nobody'll steal them.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work.
As maiores vantagens de ter sua própria cama é que ela está sempre disponível e dormir nela salva o jogo automaticamente. É possível conseguir mais camas em outras fases da história e comprá-las em tavernas de alguns prédios modernos. Todas as suas camas estão marcadas no mapa. Tá. Vamos lá ver onde está minha cama, né? Primeiro aqui, ó, tem 2 aqui, o meu tá do lado da lareira. É aqui. Não é aqui a minha. Sentar, dormir. E aqui, o que tem aqui? É a casa dele? É aqui a casa dele. Esse quarto é meu. Kit de armareiro, armadura. Posso guardar coisas aqui. Kit de ferreiro. Pega isso aqui não? Podia deixar pegar, ué. Helena, esposa de Radovan. A senhora, né? Aqui a gente tem um depósito, né? Um feno. Um totó. Vou conversar com ele. Vamos fazer pelo menos mais uma arma.
What do you want here, you scoundrel? Why'd you barge in here?
Conte sobre o trabalho mais interessante, sobre trabalhar com ferreiro. Preciso praticar um pouco mais, pode me ensinar uma coisa, consertar. Conte sobre o trabalho mais interessante.
It's about those 2 idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semine, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semine and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Que direção eles foram?
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Semin that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Semin.
Those two hands of yours, Venza and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. I'd say Lord Semin wants to rearm his garrison with new equipment. There were some hunting swords, bastard swords, crossbow bolts. I also fixed the trigger on young Semin's crossbow. And some kitchen stuff. Sacks of charcoal, all sorts of things. There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right. I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them.
Sobre trabalhar com ferreiro.
There's a couple more things I'd like to ask about smithing.
Ask away.
Eu perguntei tudo, não precisa.
That's all I need to know.
O cara pode me ensinar uma coisa?
I heard you could teach me something.
It can be done, but it doesn't come free. You know how it is. Years of hard work and self-sacrifice. What is this about?
Agora não. Vamos lá. Recuperar a carroça desse moço. Aonde, hein? Carroça virada. Aqui. E o cavalinho? Vai me arrumar não, velho? Comerciante.
What will it be?
Nada. Cavalo. Não. Não. O pobre. É, o jeito é pé na estrada, né? De novo, né? Um horse.
What's... Hey, fella, we're an honest lot.
To hell with it.
God be with you.
Funcionário. Conhece pelo isso. Vamos falar com ele. Meu nome é Henry.
God be with you, noble sir. I'm Henry of Skalitz, and I serve the Lord of Lipa.
Sir Kunesh of Belevitz. Poor as a church mouse, but a free man once again.
A free man again? What happened to you, Kunesh?
Ah, the greatest of misfortunes befell me. Figuring out this war is a job and a half.
Aye. This feuding between the royal brothers is damn muddled, all right.
Precisely. I gambled on Jobst over Sigismund a few years back. Only his Hungarian cavalry soon routed us, and I spent 2 years in captivity.
You were held captive? What was it like?
Hardly wondrous, I'll tell you that. But what irritated me most was being powerless to do anything. It's all those blasted Hungarians' fault. They can shove my silver up their arse and then lick it and kiss it for all I care.
I totally agree. Sigismund is holding his brother Wenceslas, the rightful king, under lock and key in Vienna.
What a bloody awful affair this war is.
In my day, men would fight with honor and integrity, not stab each other in the back.
My sentiments exactly, Sir Kunesh.
Why, young man, I see you stand with Wenceslas, eh? I tell you, though, he's the one who dragged our land into this mess.
How so? It was the Hungarians who captured you, wasn't it?
Because I was a fool. But I've realized that the only competent king here is Sigismund.
I disagree with you, sir. Sigismund is a scoundrel who will do our land no good. Again?
That's what often happens in war. Still, for the good of the country, I'll side with Sigismund in the end, especially considering what a drunkard and fornicator that brother of his is.
Wenceslas stands up for his people.
Wenceslas can't even see the tip of his nose, and things are only
Concordo
getting
com o
worse.
senhorzinho aí, viu?
I must be on my way. Farewell, Sir Kunesh.
Farewell and Godspeed, young man.
Será que eu aguento um duelo com ele? Eu vou morrer, eu vou...
Sigismund's no king. He's nothing but a murderous thief. I challenge you to a duel, sir.
What? You want to fight me? You're not a noble, but what do I care? Making you skip and jump will amuse me, whelp.
Eu vou me ferrar, não vou? Principalmente porque eu não tenho arma. Aí fica mais difícil, né? Espada de caça, olha só.
Go on, parry.
Corre, moço. Morri. Ele desistiu? Eu tô morrendo, né? Tem curativo? Eu e minhas ideias. Cinto de caçador. Atadura.
Don't shove!
Lá no ferreiro tentar dormir antes que eu morra e perca tudo. Vamos, agora só 1h da tarde. Vamos ver quanto tempo que vai dormir. Não, dormir umas até 3 horas. Já aumentou a vitalidade, já salvou. Isso, garoto. Eu tô meio abalado ainda.
Somebody gave you a good work. Over? Are you all right?
This? Ah, it's nothing. But thanks for asking.
Cara, a mata desse jogo pra mim, eu já pirava no primeiro, mas o segundo, a mata, a vegetação tá de parabéns, viu, a equipe do jogo. Esqueci qual é o nome da equipe, se é Boêmia? Acho que não é não. Eu estou indo pro lado errado, ó. Pra cá. Fácil se perder esse trem aqui, hein? E aqui ainda pode ter bandido, hein? Aí que eu me ferro mesmo. Aquela espada minha que eu peguei, eu não uso ela? Acho que não, hein? Tá com ela na mão aqui porque eu já tô morrendo. Chegando, achar aqui, ó. Professor de habilidade. É pra baixo, ó, carroça virada. Agora eu vou chegar naquela casa lá, depois eu viro pra baixo. Deixa eu liberar aqui. Vou guardar a arma, né? Tentar me lavar aqui antes de conversar com alguém. Sangue. Não é ela que vai conversar, não. Ah, fala. O que aconteceu?
What happened? You look worried.
My husband Vostatek left to go hunting and hasn't come back. I'm worried that something happened to him. He's von Burgo's lead huntsman, and the forest is full of poachers these days.
Maybe he just got caught up somewhere.
Not a chance. We're invited to young Lord Semin's wedding. He wouldn't dare miss that by wandering around the woods for so long. What would Lord Semin think if we didn't show up? It would be a disgrace. He sometimes loses track of time out in the woods, but I've got a really bad feeling about it this time. One time, Vostatek didn't come home for 4 days after his horse broke its leg in the woods. I had a feeling right away that something bad had happened. And I have that same feeling now. Do you reckon you could help me?
Ele às vezes perde a noção do tempo na floresta. Onde ele foi? Vamos ver aqui.
Does that happen often? That he gets lost in the woods?
He disappears for a while from time to time when he gets orders from Lord von Burgo. And besides that, well...
What is it? You can tell me.
He drinks a bit sometimes. Then everything takes him longer. His job isn't easy, so I understand when he does, and I don't get upset with him.
Eu também bebo. Não, eu entendo. Tá? Vou falar que eu bebo, não.
But maybe you're right, and it really is something else this time.
Exactly.
Onde ele foi?
Do you know where he might be? Where is his hunting ground?
In all the forests here around Vidlak Pond. He didn't tell me exactly where he was going, but maybe Vitek knows.
Vitek?
Our son.
So your husband got lost when he was out hunting, and you want me to go and find him?
I'd go myself, but Vostatek doesn't want me going to the woods on my own. He says it's dangerous. But you look like a fearless lad, and I'll be sure to reward you for your efforts.
Por que é perigoso na floresta?
Why did Vostatek forbid you from going to the forest? Is it really that dangerous?
There are wolves, boars and worse out there.
What could you meet in the forest that's worse than an angry boar?
Well, people, of course. All sorts of cutthroats and thieves hide out in those woods. So watch your back.
Floresta é lugar assustador. Obrigado, não tenho medo
I'm
da
no
floresta.
coward. The woods don't scare me.
Neither is Vostatic. But fear can be useful. When you aren't afraid, you throw caution to the wind.
Qual será a recompensa?
What can I expect in return for helping you?
Convido pro
I can
casamento,
give you
vai.
some groschen. We aren't too badly off. But above all, if you help him, you'll be in his good books. And everyone wants to be in my Vostatic's good books.
Não me diz. Eu vou ajudar,
Alright.
vai. Sou
I'll
garotinho
bring
do bem.
Vostatek back to you.
Thank you. I wouldn't send you if I didn't think it was necessary, but I have a really bad feeling about this. Before you leave, please make sure to talk to Vitek. Maybe he'd know where his father was headed.
Why doesn't Vitek go looking for Vostatek then?
I told him, but the lad is young and stubborn. He just doesn't listen to me. And besides, him and Vostatic don't get along very well.
All right. I'll let you know as soon as I find something.
Be careful out there. See you later, my friend.
Vamos descer então, né? E a gente encontra o marido dela depois. É pra cá que eu quero ir? Não. É pra cá. Quais? É pra cá. O ideal tá aqui? Cachorro.
Mother of God! Did you get hit by a horse?
That's nothing. Just a scratch.
What will it be?
Sabe onde você foi caçar?
I'm looking for your father. Did he mention where he was headed?
Ma talked you into it, didn't she? I'd be willing to bet he just got wasted as usual. He's nothing but a drunkard. It's no secret.
Eu tenho mais reputação no... Deixa de ser abusado e fale logo. Eu vou te pagar. E ajudar seu pai é seu dever como cristão. Eu sou fraco nisso. Ele pode estar correndo perigo. Eu tenho 5. Eu vou ser brutão. Deixa...
Don't be cheeky, you brat. You'll tell me what I want to know, or I'll smash that unwashed face of yours against a tree.
Come on, then. You think I'm afraid of you? I'm the one that does all the man's work around here. All Pa does is booze. And if something out there finally ate him, all the better. We'd be better off without him anyway.
Acho que eu tenho que escolher o menor. Vou pagar pra ele.
I don't
vai.
have time to argue with you. I'll pay you. I mean, I'll pay you as soon as I can.
You're as much of a washout as Pa is. Let him stay in the forest if he wants. I don't care.
But I'm not going to talk to you if you're going to be like that.
Suit yourself.
É. Eu escolhi errado, hein? Umas flechas aqui. Eu pego essas flechas? Não pego nada. Se eu fazer uma competição com ele e ele me contar onde está o pai
Why'd you
dele.
barge in here?
I'd like to compete at archery.
Your first time, eh? I don't remember your face from any previous contests. What's it to be? Longbow or crossbow?
Arco longo, vai.
Maybe longbow?
All right. I'll get everything ready and find some fellas. But first you need something to shoot from. Come back when you're ready. Arrows I can give you. But I want to see you carrying a bow. Got it?
I have another question about your father.
He's nothing but a drunken blabbermouth.
Well, I'm not going to talk to you if you're going to be like that.
Suit yourself.
É. Vou por conta própria mesmo. Tem que virar mais pra cá. Tem, isso mesmo, pra cá.
Stop, or I'll ram my blade into your gut. I want everything you've got, right now. But I have nothing to give. This instant, I say. But, are you fucking deaf or what?
Eu vou morrer ali, não vou? Certeza que eu vou. Vou tentar descer por aqui. Salto pra caramba ainda, hein? Como que eu vou descer nesse negócio? Olha, achei uns trenzinhos interessantes aqui, ó. Vai ver que era onde o pai do menino tava enchendo a cara aqui, não. Opa, comecei a descer. Boa. Bom que eu não tenho vida. Se virar um fight aqui já era. Ixi, vou esconder. Ixi, mas aí ferrou, ué. Pera aí, ué. Aí ferrou. Íngua. Não, não fala que eu vou voltar lá na cama do ferreiro de novo. Ah! É, definitivamente o Zão não é o melhor jogador de Kingdom Come Deliverance. Ah, voltei na mulher. Bom, hein? Vamos lá conversar com o filho dela. E aí eu vou escolher a opção menor.
My God! Greetings. I'm looking for your father.
Vamos lá, vamos passar, vamos passar.
Did he mention where he was headed?
He's nothing but a
Ó, vou escolher essa aqui.
What kind of a Christian are you? Sinner or saint? It's your duty to honor your father as the good
Tem
book
que
decrees.
buscar o pinguço na floresta. É por isso mesmo, Nathaniel. É isso, cara.
Then I'll find him myself.
According to the good book, he shouldn't drink so much. The only thing he can manage on his own is to puke and piss all over himself. Then either Ma or me has to clean it up. And I've had enough of it.
É, não deu, né?
Well, I'm not going to talk to you if you're going to be like that.
Suit yourself.
Não deu. Não deu. Tem que me recuperar. Tô com vitalidade 6, vida 28, energia 98, sociedade 70. eu posso dormir aqui na casa deles. Eles devem ir lá comigo, se eu for dormir aqui. Ó, aqui tem uma cama, ó, dormir. Será que eles vão deixar?
What are you... I won't have you causing trouble here, laddie. Cough up some coin, or we'll report you to the bailiff.
Nossa, mas você é bruto, hein? Tô te ajudando, você não pode deixar eu dormir no paieiro, hein? Não pode me perdoar?
I admit I was not on my best behavior. I swear on my honor that it won't happen again.
What are you playing at? You think you're some big lord, huh? Not a chance.
I'd like to compensate you, but I don't have enough money on me.
What a surprise.
I want the bailiff to settle this.
Suit yourself. Let's go. The bailiff will explain it to you, and you'll have plenty of time to think about what you did in the pillory.
Moça de Deus, eu tentei dormir na paia. E você me entregou como se eu tivesse feito um crime. Olha onde eu voltei. Ah, não. Que senhorinha. E eu tô ajudando ela. Que senhorinha amargosa. Olha só. Quem sabe volta a minha vida agora, né? Como a senhora é ruim. Que isso? Quantos dias? Prisão da época.
God, did you get hit by a horse?
Nem voltou meus trem. E eu voltei lá na vila lá atrás, né? Ah, não. Misericórdia. Bom, galera, eu vou tentar recuperar aqui. A gente vai continuar em outra aventura. Quero agradecer a todo mundo que curtiu a live aí. Vai deixando likes, comentários. Tiozão é muito ruim, né? Ninguém não come, pelo amor de Deus. Bom final de semana, galera. Tchau, tchau.